Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
We don't have to.
What?
We need the supervisor.
Well, I didn't know.
Is he still in the building?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I thought he was left.
Someone go find him?
Please, guys.
I gotta teach in the morning.
Go find him. Thank you.
It's gonna be nice.
No action was taken in executive session.
What did you say?
To the secure conference room.
Okay. Back into open session.
Yes.
Very good.
Back into open session. Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Walloway?
Yes.
Supervisor Barry?
Yes. All right. Okay, any other business coming before the board?
Yes.
Yes.
I need some clarification, I guess either from town attorney or from the rest of the board, under which section of executive session law permitted the board, 3 of the board members to have a meeting with outside counsel.
I don't know if, okay.
Councilwoman? So just to clarify for the public, we entered into executive session. I believe the motion was for a personnel issue. And there are specific reasons that you enter into executive session. All other business is to be conducted in public at a public meeting before the public. During the executive session, unbeknownst to me, I'm not sure if my colleagues or the town attorney were aware, there was a meeting set up with the external counsel that this board has the resolution to retain. During the minutes of that meeting, because I questioned this specifically on page 138 of the minutes from that evening, I asked who would be communicating with this external law firm. Councilwoman Standard, you replied that the entire board would communicate with this law firm. So someone, did not include me, communicated with this firm to have set up a meeting during executive session today. And I'm questioning, do they work for 3 people on this board, or do they work for the entire board? Because I knew nothing about
resolution hiring them was that this law firm reports to the entire town board.
And that all communication would go through the entire board, is what you said, you answered, it's in the minutes, page 138 from May 16th.
Yeah, so do you expect to set up meetings? All of us have to be together in a room to set up a meeting? I mean, this was setting up a meeting so she could meet you.
Yeah, I would expect to be on an email. I'd like to set up a meeting with the entire board, copy to all board members, what time works for everyone. It would not be conducted as part of a public meeting. It would not be conducted as part of an executive session of a public meeting. It could be privately between the board and the external law firm under attorney-compliant privilege.
Well,
But it would
I
not be
thought
during
since the
the-
entire board was going to be involved, that is the only thing that would allow us, that's the only mechanism that would allow us to meet as a board together legally.
That's not
in
true.
Executive session.
It's attorney-client privilege. Correct, Tom?
The meeting with Hillary Herrera would have been covered by an attorney-client privilege. I think what would be helpful to the board when one of the members wants to make a motion to go into an executive session, I think it would be helpful that the other members be given information on what the topic is going to be. As we discussed in there, having the Section 75 resolution on the agenda, which went out on Thursday, and then the request came in from Councilwoman Standard to put an executive session on the agenda on Friday. I assumed that the executive session would have been related to the Section 75 matter. It was a surprise to be ushered into the other room down the hall for a Zoom conference with Ron Shenigan King's downstate lawyer. I didn't know that was planned, and I think it'd be far better practice if myself was consulted on these executive session matters to give all the board some advice on whether it's proper, which would give them information with which they could make a decision on whether they wanted to attend that session. And it would give us all a better communication in advance so that people are not blindsided and do not feel blindsided. And maybe if there was less blindsiding, maybe there would be less need for the investigation that we spoke of. That would be my advice.
There was no blindsiding, I disagree.
There absolutely was.
So when I made the motion, I said discussing a town employee matter with legal counsel. You voted for it. Vote no next time, Tony. Vote no, and don't come in the room.
The purpose of hiring the external counsel, as you stated, Councilwoman, was to investigate a hostile work environment. Where is that under conduct of executive sessions? It's not. I have no problem meeting with this firm. We passed a resolution, but we need to do it properly. There's a reason there is the open meetings law. We do things in public. We do things properly. We have now been brought into two.
I disagree with your assessment.
I understand. I'm going to continue. We have now been brought into two executive sessions, motions that you put forward,
And both
motions
were
that
legal.
both the other councilwomen voted to
Correct.
approve, opposition by myself and Supervisor Barrett. And
If you
both
care to
times,
challenge that,
both
that they were not
times they were
legal
in-
counsel,
can we just have
counsel?
one person talk at a time or no?
Well, no, you're making insinuations again.
I'm looking at the law.
And you're
Do we not
making
follow the law?
allegations.
I'm
No,
not
we
looking
were
at the law.
following the law.
You
And I
were.
have legal advice on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
I'd like,
please.
you know, the idea of letting us all know what executive session is going to be about would be brand new to us. I've been here for a very, very long time. And it might be an employee issue, a legal issue. You know, it's very vague. We go in. But I don't think I've ever gone into executive session knowing what was going to be talked about. It could be, if it's employee issue, sometimes a union issue. There's been times when you've wanted to express need to hire outside counsel for some reasons, but I've never been told before. I walk in that room, what the executive session is about.
Well, I don't think that's
Well, that is,
But you
come to look back at it.
And if you have an
Put up
executive session
with
to
no reason
inform the
indicated.
board about something,
None
that's a
whatsoever.
little different than setting up a meeting with outside counsel, without certain board members knowing, and unable to prepare. That's a much
There
different
was nothing to prepare
situation
for.
than having an executive session to inform the board of a matter that is occurring. So, two
And vote
very
no
different
next
things.
time.
So which section,
Yeah, well,
which
apparently
section
that's
does it
what we
fall
need to do.
under? Letter A through letter H are the only enumerated purposes to conduct an executive session. So which one did the executive session that you called, Councilwoman, did that fall under? Because this is the law. This is the law that we're required to follow. A through H, which one? Your silence is telling.
No, my silence is I'm looking at the law, Tony. Do you want an answer?
Well, you made
Do you
the
want me to
motion,
just
should-
make something
You
up?
made the motion, so you should know.
I made the motion, which you voted for, to go into executive session under Article 7, Section 105.
Right, we had a personnel
You
matter
want
we
a letter?
discussed, and then I walked out for the part that was illegal.
It was not illegal, Tony. It
Which
was
section?
not illegal,
A
Tony.
through H, which one?
You know,
Do you have it? I have the law if you want to see it.
yeah, I have it in front of me too, but you're out of line. I'm sorry. For you to sit up here
I'm out
and
of
tell me
line.
that we acted, that was illegal is inappropriate.
I'm looking at the law. Tell me it
I
wasn't.
have the law in front of me.
Okay, tell me which letter. A through H are the only enumerated purposes for entering executive
You
session.
know what? I don't want to talk to you anymore, Tony. You're out of line again. You're out of line
How am I out
again.
of line? I'm talking about the law and why you called an executive session.
And you're
With all
out,
due
you're out of
respect,
line.
I mean, but it-
You voted to go in,
You're
you
not gonna
voted
agree.
on the motion to go into executive session. Why?
Because I
Well,
was told it was for a
take,
personnel matter.
you know, we say, well, hey, it must be an important matter. We
It
take-
was an
Take your
important
word
matter.
for it that, it's necessary, but twice, that has not been the case. So I guess maybe in the future, we don't, take for granted that it's a legitimate executive session. I don't know. All right. Anything else? Yeah, Ms. Lowell?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Teresa?
Councilwoman Clark?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilmember Rowley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rowley? Supervisor Barrett?
Yes, thank you. In the time, we've gone 11.
Tomorrow, 11:30, I'll be here.
Okay.